Good morning, everybody. This is Sales Chatter. I'm your co-host, Ryan Mohammed. I got the amazing co-host with me, Jeff Dixon, President and CEO of RGTX Logistics Solutions, the main man, the bodacious boy. And, we're the only podcast here that's trying to get 10,000 reps to hit a million GP every single day, trying to give you guys some value. And we got the main man, my guy, DJ Flores, the good wolf himself. Good morning, gents. What's going on, guys?
Thank you,
Not
guys.
Not much, man. It's Friday. I can't believe how fast this week went. And last week, because we only had a 4-day week, and so many people were catching up on what they couldn't do over the weekend. Well, some of us did because we worked anyway, right? But for the most part, companies, shippers, they were just catching up. So there was
catching up. So let's hit that intro and let's have some fun, boys.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
There's my man. Shout out to Daman. Good morning, Daman. So nice to see you. Hope you had an amazing week, my friend. I got to talk to him. I actually got a calendar from Daman. I've checked the mail this morning, and
nice.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Daman. Thanks.
When I know some high places. That's
where to go, buddy.
DJ, it's so nice to see you, my friend. Jeff, yesterday was awesome.
Thank you guys for the
you guys are crushing it. Yes, it's really, really cool to kind of see. So, like we said, we've had some really fun on the last 2 Fridays. Quick week, summarize it a little bit, and let's get into some fun. Let's get into some questions and get some interaction with our audience and you guys as well. So, Jeff, just recap your week pretty quickly for us, and then let's go to DJ.
Fun. I mean, it wasn't chaotic by any means. Total engagement with the LinkedIn community, doing podcasts, keeping myself really, really busy. It went like a flash, Ryan. I mean, I can't believe it. Here we are. It's 9:00 on a Friday morning, and we just celebrated the New Year off day here in the States on Monday. It's like, where did time go?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Too fast for me.
Too fast, too furious. That's
yes,
the next,
very fast.
The next Fast and Furious. What about you, DJ? How's your week in a nutshell for it?
Yeah, we should call the show that, the Fast and the Furious.
I don't think Vin Diesel will allow that. We'll be off the air. And
yeah, maybe. Week was great. Again, we're going with Jeff though. It was fast, and it was. The holidays just falling on this and making it a 4-day week for most people, because Monday for a lot of people observed New Year's, so it was just that 4-day week. It's always, and I guess it's kind of good going into the new year. Give you a little hey, here's a little, take it easy. Only 4 days this week, but yeah, still it was very fast. It was very, very fast.
Yeah, you can't take your foot off the gas in this industry anyway. I mean, I wouldn't say that I wasn't doing anything. I mean, I was doing stuff, but it was more to develop my business and myself, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's like, okay, so what do you do when you don't have that flow coming in, and then all of a sudden the flow starts coming in, the following week. It's like everybody's getting back on, on the track. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too. Even let's talk about business for a little bit here. I like to browse the freight broker Reddit. They have a subreddit, and other freight brokers are there, and just to kind of see everybody kind of complaining, oh my god, rates are high, and then here I am with my team, with our trusted relationships, we're chilling, our freight's coming through, everything's getting booked, everything like that. So partnerships are so important, and you get to see the tail of the tape, right? In terms of who's on the load boards, who's not on the load boards, and who's moving what. But for me, guys, this week has been really good for me. And it's not a brag at all. It's just I've kind of done some cool habits that's kind of shaped my year so far, but things like reading a chapter of a book every single day. I started Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty, and I'm loving that book so far and taking from it. Things like meditating for 10 minutes a day. It's crazy, these little small changes that kind of happen in your life, and I'm definitely looking to keep that going, keep that momentum, keep that smile on my face, just like DJ always kind of has on too, right? So glad to have you guys here, man. Jeff, we've had an amazing week with training. We got Scott, we had Dean, and then us. We kind of did our thing yesterday. Any kind of what were your kind of thoughts on the theme of the week, and how was it executed, and looking forward to next week?
Yeah, I thought it was. I went very, very well because we were on point every day, I would think anyway. And we were always talking about the training aspect. And again, everybody has their own unique way about doing the training and that knowledge base, and then how you want to use that, for yourself, for your business, etc. So I thought it was engaging. Could we have done better? We can always do better. I mean, you and I both know that, and that's what we try to do every single day. And some of the topics, have to be spoken about because there's so many things in this industry, in the sales side, that are misdirected and misinformed, and it kind of hurts the industry. I think a lot of people would agree, with me on that. I'm talking about the ethical people and the unethical people, and how the unethical people, bring down the ethical people that actually know what the hell they're doing, and it gives them a bad name. So I think that our show is trying to help those people to be a little bit more ethical, start thinking about what the hell they're doing, and get back on the same page so we can all travel down that same road, make a living, enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah, and one thing that I've enjoyed, and I don't know, I've been binging a lot of Alex Hermosi content lately. Like, I love that guy. And one thing I was watching yesterday was he was saying is like, if you're trying to do content creation, whether it be social media or something like that, don't tell somebody to do something. You do something and then you share your experience, right? So Jeff, like how you and I talk, right? Like, hey, I make 10 calls a day, right? I'm not going to tell somebody to make 10 calls a day, but here's my experience in doing it, right? And like you kind of said from saying, so as long as we're kind of being a guide. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and why you do it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. And it's not like I do something and leave it. It's okay, I do something and here's why I do it. And this is the reason. And that's the whole thing. It's just like, no, DJ, you're going to make 100 calls a day. No, I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah,
No,
50.
No, it's not that way. It's not that way, It's trying to give people an idea, an insight, an experience. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. And I got to give you guys props. The following the theme and the week of the theme is a great idea. It keeps on track, and it has been a really great show. So you guys have done killer with that. So yeah, this first week of the new year with your shows has been great. So great job, seriously. And then Jeff, great job on yesterday with the Hold My Beer. That was listen, I know there was some technical difficulties, but it's okay.
Technical support.
Listen, it was still. I love the cast that you guys have on there, and Lewis is a great dude. I just from his what he was sharing and stuff. So yeah,
he's a good dude. It should be called No Holds Bar, because we just let it fly, and another thing that's great about the show, as it is with us here, we can all agree to disagree, but we learn from each other. What we're doing is we're collaborating. We're taking everybody's view from different sectors within the logistics industry and listening to what they have to say. And whatever you want to do with it, that's fine. And the audience can do the same thing, obviously, when they tune in. But I take the blame. I screwed up with the restream on the platform. I didn't extend it because we had a little bit of technical problems, and TJ had his. He kind of blew up after the show, but because he's passionate about it. He's passionate about it.
Yeah, so we'll leave that for you guys to kind of talk about internally because we're on sales chatter here. But that being said, let's have some fun with basically our Fridays. So I'll ask a question to you guys, and let's kind of get from there. What book or books have you given most as a gift, and why? And I'll start with you, Gigi. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. One of the best books that there's actually two of them. 7 Habits of Successful People from Stephen Covey. And the other one is the Book of Execution. Unbelievable book. Bossity is the author on that. And I don't know, just read it. That's it, because in this industry, end game is execution, and that book really gets into the weeds and helps you to understand what execution is all about. I highly recommend it, and that would be the book that I would give out for sure.
So, and when was the first time you read that book? Was I born? Was I? No, just joking.
Born, let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay, about 2007, 2008.
2007, 2008.
Yeah, and it's
And
still relative today.
it's relevant. So at what point in 2007, 2008, what point in your life were you that, hey, I read this and like, hey, I needed to, this is my book. This is the book that I would give.
Why? Really easy. That's when I became a executive client account manager. Right there. I mean, that's what I'm kind of doing right now, right? But I did it for 7 years and I was a closer. I wasn't a client developer. I could close deals really, really well as soon as I got my foot in the door. And that's what my boss did for me, who now works for me. So, yeah. So that book, he said, Jeff, read this, man. You know, I mean, again, right? A great leader. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. Read this and find out how to do it. Talk to me about it. And then let's discuss your next approach. Okay,
Let's go.
You can't go back from there. You can't.
Go back in. It's DJ just shot me a message. His internet dropped. So I guess that's what happens. That's like karma, where you're talking about hold my beer and the internet connection going out.
I used to be the guy that dropped off all the time.
Yeah, you definitely got the awards now. For me, the one book, like I've always kind of mentioned, I'm trying to get back into books and retaining information. But the one book that's really been beneficial in my career has been Atomic Habits by James Clear. And basically what he talks about is, hey, forget motivation, focus on discipline, focus on habits. My big takeaway from that book, Jeff, is that you got to prep your environment for your habits, right? So let's say you want to read more. You're not going to put like your book or your e-reader by couches like for watching TV. So like even for me, it's like turning on video games and things like that. It's kind of like putting things in the rots for things. So like even for me, I put my work phone, I leave it in my office. That means I won't be scrolling at night and I won't be wasting time, things like that. So Atomic Habits for me, as Daman kind of comes here with his kind of book here, John Maxwell books, Eric Thomas, You, which is the most recent. See, and then I love this. I love what Kelly's kind of saying here. Bible, obviously, you know, like I read the Bhagavad Gita a single day for spiritual and things like that. So, you know, I think books are a great thing, and I think for me, Jeff, it's a great thing to gift someone. Yes. You know, you just never know. Like, I know you got the Rico book. Did you finish up the Rico yet, or you're still kind of plugging away through that?
Bits and pieces of it, and you know, two choices, baby. I that's the way that I go about every day. You know, think about it. Am I going to do it or not waste my time? You know, that's pretty much every day. I ask myself, "You going to do it, or am I going to do something else?" You know, it's just so funny. You don't realize that you do it every day until Rico started really talking about it. Then you start thinking about it every day. You know, and it's so true. You have two freaking choices. You know, it's like yes or no. I mean, unbelievable.
Here's man.
What's that, Daman?
He's back. There he is. He's coming back here.
Hey,
and you know,
sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's all good. You know,
I feel sometimes like the lone wolf.
Yeah,
listen, we talked about technical difficulties, and then boom, I was done.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I was like, that was karma for talking about the previous show, but we won't talk about that anymore.
I should have never said anything. I should have never said anything.
So next question. Actually, DJ, we'll actually get into you because we just finished up here. But what book have you gifted the most? And even if you haven't, what book would you gift to someone?
Oh gosh. There are so many great ones. I don't know where I would start. I guess I'd probably have to start with Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. That book for me was really, it really connected all the dots for me. Really changed everything for me, honestly. So shout out to Dan. Dan's the one who told me about it. I knew the other book, but Dan was like, "Hey, no, Outwitting the Devil, you got to get that one." I'm like, "Oh yes."
Yeah, you know, I know that's the amazing thing. All right, boys. Let's see. Favorite place that you've traveled to, or you would like to travel within the next 5 years?
Ooh, I know where I would like to go, and I talked to my wife about it, and that may surprise her. Maldives or Bora Bora.
Oh, he's Jeff. RGTX is definitely balling. You know,
I want if I'm going someplace, I want it to be exotic and I want it to be off the chain. I mean, off the grid, totally.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. What about you, DJ?
So honestly, me and Maggie really want to go on a cruise. So probably a cruise would be the next thing if we do something. That would be the goal.
Where?
Cruise. I don't know. I don't know. I think just the experience of the whole the cruise experience. I don't even think actually even the Great Lakes. Just it's between all of us. I don't know if you guys seen this, but
Yeah.
The Great Lakes have their own little cruise ships now that they do cruises on the Great Lakes. So hey, maybe.
Please do me a favor. Don't go to Alaska.
You guys are clowning me for Alaska that I said last time, eh? Like from there. I won't bring that up, but for me, I think as I kind of think about it, I was actually kind of putting it into the universe. I really want to go to the motherland. I'm from the West Indies. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, but our motherland is India. So I want to go to India, spend like up 2 weeks to a month, really reconnect, see the motherland as it's supposed to be. And
whereabouts in India? Mumbai,
so for me, what I
Chennai?
would want to do is I'd want to do a full tour. So I would hire a tour guide, and just literally show me like everything, you know, that I can consume in the two, and it's all religious sites, you know, because like I said, I'm pretty religious on my end here, but you know, would love to kind of see where everything that I've read in these holy texts, to actually see it in person and take it, put myself back in that mindset. So that's for me. You know,
I
that's
love
for
that,
me.
Ryan. I love that.
Yeah, I got a deep question for you that I saw on Instagram yesterday by Morgan Ingram. And I'll get DJ to kind of start off first, and then Jeff as well.
Okay,
What question in life are you trying to answer the most right now?
That is a deep one, and that is so good. But I'll tell you, it's honestly for me, it's just my constant curiosity of wanting to understand more. I figured out I have a love of people. I love people, and trying to understand why they do this or why they do that, or you know, even why did I do that? And so like just the understanding of why. But I think the thing is, so I just watched a brief a podcast with Ed Milet and Jim Quick. And anybody who doesn't know Jim Quick, you got to check this guy out. This guy is amazing. I caught him a while back, but like his information and what he has is, I mean, it's next level. It's going to help. I mean, even just here, my big win for this week is note taking. The way that he explains taking notes is, and so anybody watching this show or anything, split the page down in half on one side. And I'm one of those people, and anybody watching this, if you have, that take every word for word note. Don't do it. He said that's not the way. He said you want on the left side to break it down to what is the value that you're hearing, but on the right side of the page, then you create your own questions to why, how that could work, how that benefits you, all of those things, and then it'll really sink in. And then I didn't realize this until doing podcasts and stuff like this, but then if you have the next level of the coach mindset of wanting to teach somebody else, and so you're wanting to teach, then it really, really sticks. And it was that whole concept was like, oh my gosh, okay. Because I mean, you can see I take notes religiously, but I take word for word until I just heard this video and I'm like, oh, there it is. Okay, split the page. That makes sense. But so yeah, questions are crazy, but yeah, that's and sorry to go off on a tangent, but that was a huge thing. That was a big thing for me. That was a huge win for me this week, was the notes. And I know anybody watching this, anybody watching shows like your guys, shows like anybody out there, you're wanting to learn more. That's why you're watching. And so, you know, if you can help, and that's why I say check out Jim Quick. That's all I'll say about him. He will teach you to learn more. He's teaching and has taught the most brilliant people out there, from Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. I mean, he's working with all of these people. So clearly he knows what he's doing. But yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I like that. And one of the key things that I do with note taking is that I pull out critical words with what is being said. And then I try to understand the meaning of those specific words and develop myself so that I could share that knowledge on top of my knowledge of what I've learned. Does that make sense? I mean, it's like
Yeah,
everybody understands things differently, right? We're all
exactly.
but it's how you take that in and redevelop it. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Jeff. So Jeff, what about you? What about the question that you're trying to answer in life right now?
You know, it's just to be. I try to be a better person every single day. You know, I gave up some time ago, long time ago. You know, negativity. Blew that completely out of the water. I literally just shut down my Facebook account, deactivated it because I just don't want to spend so much time on social media. I've got my business that I want to take care of. You know, what's the other thing? You know, no political posts or comments. You know, I bypass them. You know, I'm just trying to remove that just to get a, you know, I wouldn't say soul searching, but it's trying to redevelop my mind. Every day I try to do that, you know, just to shed that positivity and make people think and just be a better thought provoker, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah.
I love that you're doing that, Jeff. I'll tell you. So it takes what it takes. I talked about that a lot on the show. Trevor Moad, he talks about neutral thinking, and he's all about removing negative. And that's what I started to do. Really, last year was anything negative. I mean, I took it to the extreme of Trevor Moad. His dad would not even let him listen to country music and different things like that. So literally, I tried to eliminate. I've been extreme. Last year was anything that made me just get any kind of just this negative self-talk idea, vibe, feeling. It was like, nope, get it away as fast as I can. It almost like poison, like poof. And I'll tell you, the change it's done for me,
it is. Yeah. And you know something, and we spoke about this several weeks ago. I wake up with a smile on my face every single day. Now, let me relate that to something, right? When you make a phone call to a prospect, right? If you don't put yourself in a happy mood or have a smile in your face, how are you going to sound?
Yeah, you're gonna sound robotic. You're gonna suck, man. You're gonna
suck. So when I get up, I automatically say, I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to make it better than yesterday, and I have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. So I'm not worried about that right now. I'm in the present, and that's what I'm going to take care of. And so when I talk to people, or if I'm on this podcast or other podcasts or anything, I'm going to come across that, you know, as a happy guy. And, you know, the only negative thing is the why. If I say something, I'll present it in a question form. And why wouldn't you? You know, what's the reasoning and that kind of thing? Not negativity at all, not to promote negativity, but to promote thought provoking ideas in your head. So, you know, that's how I start my day every day. For sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. You know, and these like little habits. Just want to touch on your point, DJ, where you're talking about Ed Milet. I was actually watching the Rob Riggle episode. I was listening to it when I was working out this week, and that's a great episode. He's the comedian, and one of the things he was kind of talking about is like he went from like Second City, that improv studio, to Saturday Night Live, and one lesson that he learned is that he thought he made it when he got to Saturday Night Live, and he's like, yep, I made the big leagues. I'm here. Let me put up my feet, and, you know, I'm there. And I think he got fired. They were doing a reorganization, so it was nothing that he did personally, but I think he was only there for like less than 6 months, and he was like, okay, where do I go now? You know, what's going to be my mission now? So to always reinvent yourself. For me, for asking the question I'm trying to answer right now, it's a hard one that I've kind of been thinking about, kind of figuring out that, hey, what does the next like 5 years look like for me? What does my exit plan kind of look like? What do I really truly love? Because I've got, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've got a lot of things that I really like. I love logistics. I love dog rescue. I love filmography, like videography. And it's like, I'm not trying to be the jack of all trades, master of none. But I'm really good at everything that I do. I would think so, at least, that I'm kind of doing. So that's for me. And I love what you said, Jeff, about, you know, you start your day positive. One of the habits that I've kind of done is taking cold showers, and shout out to Clarissa and Steve with their cold plunges. And I've been watching like a lot of Wim Hof, and he kind of says, hey, if you die once, you know, you can do anything you want, right? So I'm always positive to make that call. Like, as to Jeff's point yesterday, I called the customer prospect, and he's like, hey, we're not looking to get anybody. And I don't know, for me, I was just kind of like freestyling a little bit. So I was like, you know what? If my wife said yes on the first date, then something's wrong, you know? So just kind of trying to reinvent myself. So next question for you guys, and the audience as well, and thank you for everyone for participating. What was your
thank you.
dream job as a child?
What's this? Say it one more time. You broke up.
Yeah, what was your dream job as a child?
Well, first of all, let me get back to that one thing about cold showers. If I got into the shower and took a cold shower, I don't think I'm coming out.
Are you freezing? Ah!
Yeah, he's like gonna be Encino Man.
At my age, man, I'm telling you right now, I need that one.
I will tell you though, Jeff, it's mind over matter. I seen somebody say that mind over matter, but it really is for cold showers. Even
I know I tried before. I'm just kidding.
I had an issue with one time, and I did a cold plunge, and man, it changed everything. And from that moment, I was like, "Oh, this is crazy, but amazing."
It gives a whole new meaning to eye opener.
Eye closer, you know, like
It sure does.
Absolutely. What? Okay, so what was my? I don't know.
So I was a sports kid my whole life. So I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to make it to the pros. I thought that was like my dream. And realizing, hey, you're not tall enough. You're not this. And all of these things was like was difficult. But yeah, that would have been mine. Was just
I'll blow you all away. Okay, so it's all the phases in life, right? When you're a kid, and then all of a sudden you get into your teens, and you change again, and you get into your 20s, and you change possibly again, or you kind of have an idea where you're going, right? So when I was like 8 or 9, you know, I want to be a professional unicyclist, right?
Okay.
Right. So I actually was riding unicycles. I got up to a 10-foot unicycle. I tried out for a professional unicycle troop basketball team, Madison Square Garden. I got cut, but it wasn't where I wanted to go, you know, because I had that really good balance. I could do that, and I can still do a lot of things on bikes today, you know. But I thought I was going to be like the best and do all that kind of stuff, you know. It's just like, wow, I'm going to get paid a lot of money, man. You know, there's all this stuff, and then you get into your teens, and then it's cars and it's women, and you know every guys go through that, you know. And then my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she says, hey, you know, there's this warehouse job, and the rest is history, guys, man.
That was it.
So
I love that, man. It's awesome. For me, I've always loved wrestling. I still do love wrestling, so I always wanted to be a wrestler. But then that realization kind of trumped itself when I was like
okay, so you had to have a wrestler name for yourself then. What was your wrestler name?
As lame as it sounds, it was actually going to be the first 2 initials of my first name and the first 2 initials of my last name, Rhino. That was going to be my it was lame as hell, but
Rhino the Rhino.
There we go. Shout out to Scott. You know, he could have been a police officer. He would have been the police sensei. You know, and that would have been awesome to kind of see from there. And as I kind of. I didn't know like professional unicyclist was it was cool. Like you mentioned for like Madison Square Garden. Like in my head, I'm thinking here, and it's kind of like small minded. I was like, does Jeff want to work for the circus? And he just doesn't want to tell us. You know, he wants to be with the tigers and all that stuff.
Hey, you remember? I mean, well, a lot of you guys were around at the time, but in the wide world of sports, they used to have unicycle basketball tournaments live on television, stuff like that. You know, and I was just intrigued because nobody at that time. I was the only one, and I used to drive my unicycle in the high school. I go to class, up the stairs, down the stairs, and the elevators, all over the place, you know. And I delivered newspapers down a major road on my unicycle.
Yes. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Like everything else, I had a lot of failure doing it too. You know, I fell off. I went to the hospital a couple times, head injuries, all this kind of stuff. But I was focused. I wanted to do that, you know, and now I can't ride one. So.
I think we got to get a gift. We got to all pitch in, me, Dan, and you know, kind of get that. Last question to end this amazing Friday, boys. I know that I'm the type of person, anytime someone gives me a compliment, I deflect so much. So I'm gonna ask you, gents, what's the best compliment that you've ever received?
Honestly, I've gotten a few messages from people from doing this show, and those just anybody sending messages or comments about content and about how it helped them either get through something or has made every second that I've done this all worth it.
Yes,
it's because it did it for me. I mean, listening to other people like this on podcast, on shows, on YouTube videos, their books, it changed me. I mean, most of the stuff I'm just a mockingbird repeating what I'm learning, but it's changed me. So anybody who's reached out, thank you, seriously. It means the world.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. You know, I don't know. It's not more about me. It's about you and them. I mean, seriously, when you get those, you know, those DMs and those connections, I watched you, you know, you resonate, do all this kind of stuff. I'm just doing it to help people. You know, that's my end goal here. You know, to create content, to make people think about it, and I'm not looking for rewards. I'm not. You know, I appreciate it and I love them. Don't get me wrong. But man, if I get to help somebody think a little bit more than what they're doing currently, man, I'm happier than a pig in shit. Seriously. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, you know, and it's that helping. So, like, for me, one of the best compliments I've ever received was I'm a musician. So, I've been playing like the Indian drums behind me since I was like 15. So, over like 19 years ago. And I had a kid like reach out to me on Instagram. And like, I never interacted with this kid, but I know he was following me for a long time. And he was a musician as well. And he's like, you know what? I literally and like there's certain things. And I was like astonished because I've never chatted with this kid before. And I get messages like these that like, oh my God, your music is really good and things like that. And, you know, I'm always willing, like Scott was saying, like to be serving someone. Like for me, I'm not a gatekeeper in any information that I have. If anybody wants to know anything, I'm an open book. Like, you know, like I always tell people, just like with you guys, whenever I book gigs, I don't charge my price based on how long I'm playing. I'm charging you based on how long it took me to get to this point for you to even book me, right? So you got to understand your craft and kind of go from there. So, you know, it's kind of one thing that's really kind of stood out. And as DJ was kind of saying, I think Jeff said it, where we know these things, but when we read it or we see it somewhere, then it's like it kind of gets highlighted a little bit more when he was talking about Rico and the book and things like that with the two choices. But, you know, I think it's to always be serving. And those are the things that always they really kind of sit with me. You know, those are.
I like Scott's.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, yep, definitely heard that too. You know, it's just, but that's awesome.
Just be the light, Scott. I agree.
It just makes you feel like you're providing something, you know, which is fantastic, and that's what we're all here to do. I mean, when it really comes down to it, you know, it's that knowledge sharing and helping others. So.
Oh, it's awesome, you know, and you know, this has been a fun session, guys. I know we'll get our buddy here to kind of take us out, but you know, we've had a great week. I'm thoroughly enjoying the interaction with everybody. So thank you for even coming on this morning, everyone, and you know, sharing your time with us. Like you guys could be doing different things, right? So DJ, take us out with the code, and then we'll finish it up, and then we'll get ready for next week.
Let's go.
So I don't have a quote, but I'm going to take you out with something even better. It was from this episode of Ed Milet and Jim Quick, and you guys got to check it out. Find it, check it out. I'll share it in the comments. I'll share the video link so you guys can see it. But he said something that was I've always heard, and I think I've said it on the show. You have two ears and one mouth, so you should listen twice as much as you speak. But he said something that was even more profound, which was, he said, listen, when you scramble the words, it has another word in it that's the secret to the whole thing, which is silent. Be silent. So you can't not, if you're truly listening to somebody, they know that you're listening to them because you're not thinking of something else to say. You're not thinking, but you are fully there. And so if you want to listen, be silent. That's it. And really listen. And it's, again, I guess a quote to take you out, he followed up that whole thing was, I believe it was a Maya Angelou, but he said Maya Angelou said, it's not what you say to people. It's not what you do to people, but it's how you, that they remember. It's how you make them feel. So how you make somebody feel all comes from how you listen to them. If you're silent, if you're fully attentive to them, and you're really listening, they'll know. And they will never forget that interaction forever. That's what I'll tell you.
Let me just end it on this one note. Make other people more important than yourself.
Yes. So I'll hit you with one more thing then. He said, try to be more interested instead of trying to be interesting. He said a lot of people where they struggle is they're trying to be interesting instead of trying to be interested. Make them the whole purpose. But yeah, thank you guys. Seriously, thank you guys for having me.
That's awesome. So want to thank everybody for coming out today. DJ, thank you so much, brother. So happy to have you on past couple of Fridays and really share with and
thank you.
The audience, because I know they definitely come. If you like this, I mentioned this audio can have some value. Even if you want to answer the questions and DM the questions the answers to the questions that we ask to have a little participation, feel free to do so, because we're here just to have fun and maybe you'll learn something along the way. You'll catch the replay at 12 and 3 p.m. Eastern time on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Tune in for Monday as we kind of go into mayhem, and both Jeff and I will announce our theme for next week. Today, I post on LinkedIn, so we're looking forward to it. Everybody have a safe, amazing weekend ahead. Boys, Jeff, always a pleasure, brother. DJ, always a pleasure. Everybody, take care.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, guys.